New breed, global truth. Shalom, everybody. It's your brother New Breed coming through with another live stream. And I came here this evening to declare the mighty acts of the Most High God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm here to cry aloud and spare not and bring truth. So Libya was just hit with a flood of biblical proportion, exterminating over 5,000 and counting. And as of now, they're saying there's over 10,000 people missing. And 9 times out of 10, if they missing, they done for it. And I've been on this campaign for a few days now of really blowing a trumpet. And I have a question once again. Where is Allah? Where is Allah? For those who don't know, 97% of Libyans are practitioners of the Islamic faith. But it seemed like God Almighty ain't having no mercy on their nation. Now, these are historical events taking place, and not too many people are talking about it on social media. And I find that quite interesting, because if one of these rappers go and smoke another rapper, it's going viral everywhere. But here we have the ultimate hitman. Here we have the judge, the creator, crying aloud, sparing not, going on a wave of destruction. And the world seems to be ignoring it. I'm not going to ignore it on my platform, because this over here is New Breed Global Truth. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to call out what's happening in the world, because it's biblical prophecy. And we're going to give people no choice but to yield to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Think about it. Just 3 days ago, you had Morocco hit with earthquakes, a 6.8 on a Richter scale, leaving over 1,500 gone. The people over there in Morocco are still shaking in their boots. A lot of them are afraid to go back in their homes because they have been traumatized by what the Almighty has done there. Another Muslim country. In Las Vegas last week, you had the demonic Burning Man festival hit with floods, leaving over 70,000 people trapped in the desert. The Most High is not playing no games. Do you understand? And I'm not going to tread lightly. I have a lot of people saying, New Breed, you're disrespectful. How could you talk like this when all those people was eradicated? That's what they told me in my Morocco video. They said I was disrespectful. Well, if you find me disrespectful, where do you find the Most High? What do you find the Almighty? Because he is ripping your countries to shreds. He's turning your countries inside out. He's judging the land. See, here's the thing about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Here's the thing about the God of Israel. Let me break this down to you. Most people are going to hate the God of Israel. Most people already hate the God of Israel the same way they hate his shepherds, the same way they hate his teachers. There's a lot of people going to be looking at the Most High God as the enemy at the end of all this. The same people claiming he fell asleep at the wheel are the same people who are going to turn their malice and contempt towards him because they don't want to follow the Almighty. The God of Israel is not playing no games with these heathenistic nations. And the only thing stopping Babylon from being totally destroyed is his prophets, is his teachers, and his chosen ones. That's all, and that's it. The moment we decide to skate off this plantation, this place is done. Make no mistake about that. Now, let's see what the news is talking about in regards to Libya. Let's get to it.
An update now on our top story on Al Jazeera this hour and the floods in Libya. We can confirm that the death toll from those devastating floods in eastern Libya has risen significantly. Let's bring in our correspondent, Malik Trainer in Tripoli. Malik, what are the latest figures?
Well, according to Issam Abu Zreba, he's the Minister of Interior in the parallel government in eastern Libya. He's now stated that the death toll in the city of Derna has risen to over 5,200.
Wow. Over 5,200 so far, ladies and gentlemen. Psalms 110:6. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill their places with the dead bodies. He shall wound their heads over many countries. Oh, the Most High is judging right now. His wrath is being showed all over the planet right now. Over 5,200. It's supposed to be all over the place. You know, American news, they stopped covering it around 2,000 bodies. Once they came across 2,000, they said, oh man, this is getting crazy. Of course, the news here ain't gonna cover it. But Al Jazeera World News is what I tend to watch, either this or RT. Because they'll tell you what's really going on. Peep the game.
Now, we haven't had, international organizations or the Libyan Red Crescent confirm those numbers.
In eastern Libya, where thousands have died in devastating floods and more than 10,000 are still missing.
More than 10,000 are still missing. If they missing, they're done. You got to understand. If it's 10,000 missing, 5,000 that's found to be deceased. We're talking about over 15,000 people have been taken out by this particular famine, by this flood. We're talking about over 15K gone, eradicated like that way. People better start taking this serious and stop following these idol gods. Allah has forsaken you. Allah has forsaken you. And all you Negroes in America still claiming Islam, I would love to see you rebuttal me. I would love it. You want to put a debate on the table? Let's put Islam up against the word of the Most High. Let's do that. Let's put Islam up against Torah. You want to debate? Because all we got to do is look up and look out what's going on in the news, and we can see what's going on in these Islamic countries. Straight up.
On Sunday, more rain fell in one day than over the past 40 years.
Wow. Did you hear what the Most High did? More rain fell in one day than in 40 years. 40 years worth of rain in one day. G Mason, thanks for the support, fam. I appreciate it. Wow. Everybody like the video. Everybody share the video, like the video. I'll wait. Let's get them likes up. Give it up for the Most High, the God of Israel. Get them likes up on the video. Let's get to it. Ezekiel 25:17. And I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes. And they shall know that I am the Lord when I shall lay my vengeance upon them. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to know who the real God is. With these furious rebukes, you're going to know that he is the Lord. "40 years worth of rain in one day." This is why the scripture says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of all wisdom, man. Because this sounds like a God that you should fear. This sounds like a God that's not playing. This sounds like a God that I can get behind. This sounds like a God worth serving. This sounds like a God I don't want to play with. And I guarantee all these people who are into these idol gods, you're going to fold in the day of judgment, in the day of reckoning, before the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The God of the Israelites is doing this. Allah not doing these floods, earthquakes. It's the God of Israel doing this. And you can look to his word to see that this was coming. It was written. Levi, thank you for the contribution, fam. I appreciate the support. That's right. Gina says that magic rock gonna crush them. Yeah, they can keep bowing before that Kahaba stone all they want. Sunshine, thanks for the support. 2 Timothy 3:1. We are in perilous times. God is speaking and many aren't paying attention. Also read Psalms 37, blessings breed. Thank you, I appreciate that. And feel free to share the actual scripture. We might actually have that scripture highlighted already. We'll get there though.
It burst 2 dams upstream, channeling a wave of destruction towards the port city of Derna. Michael Apple reports.
A witness to the disaster points to where the flooding that would devastate Derna was unleashed. 2 dams holding huge amounts of water burst, sending a wave towards the city. Satellite imagery shows them before the floods. The first dam was 12 kilometers upstream. The second dam was on the city's outskirts. When the dam walls crumbled, almost like a reversed tsunami, the water cut through Derna's neighborhoods, destroying...
You know it did some damage when you can see it from the daggone satellite. That's crazy.
Bridges, roads, and homes, sweeping residents out to sea as the waves struck the low-lying coastal town. Derna had a population of around 100,000. The human cost of the disaster is still being counted.
They still counting how many people are missing. It may be more than 10,000 missing. You don't know how many people are missing.
Death toll is huge. It might reach 2,000 really, but we don't have a definite number right now. Maybe later today.
1,000 more might be missing. Massive rainfall caused dams to collapse. Lama Hassan tracking that. Good morning, Lama.
Yeah, good morning to you, George. This is a powerful storm that is causing catastrophic flooding in Libya, bringing with it strong storm winds, devastating some parts of the country and completely wiping out entire towns. And you can see the damage from the air, the shift.
Man, the Most High is tearing y'all countries apart, man. I mean, I want to see anybody else who want to step up and defend Islam. Seriously, this flood is ripping through towns, you know, pretty much. I mean, extinguishing the people, man. This is crazy right here. The Almighty is not to be played with, man. Nahum, chapter 1, verse 2. God is jealous, and the Lord revenge. The Lord revengeth and his fury. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries. And it says, and he reserved wrath for his enemies. Now, on my previous broadcast in regards to Morocco, I talked about how these people are enemies of the Almighty, how these Gentile nations are following a false God. I gave you the whole history on Muhammad. I broke it down to y'all. And now, not even days later, the Most High destroys another Islamic country, reinforcing and validating the message that he wants out there. He's not playing. All you people out there playing with tarot cards, New Age mysticism, you dealing with Pan-Africanism, you dealing with Egyptology, or you dealing with Islam, praying to a damn crescent moon. If you doing any of these things, I'm telling you right now, the Most High, he is looking at you sideways, and he's pretty much kindling a fire against you. He's kindling a fire against you because he's speaking to the whole world with his actions, and he's showing you what he's about. So if you want to continue to do those things, I'm letting you know right now, the Most High is going to let rage off on you. It's just a matter of time. Better turn back to our word. Somebody said all religions are wrong, point blank. Absolutely. The Bible is not a religious book, quote unquote. The Bible is the history of the Israelites. It's the word of God. And what makes it a history book is the fact that it's not attached to any idols like the rest of these religions. It was compiled by the biblical prophets. It was compiled by our ancestors. And unlike the Egyptians, we were able to carry scrolls around. Of course, you can't take a pyramid and carry that on your back. But our ancestors were intelligent enough to hide these scrolls and document what the Almighty have gave them through revelation. And for those who would sit up there and say, well, it's just a book written by men. Every book is written by men. That's an idiotic argument. Cookbooks are written by men, but you still use the recipes. So use your damn mind. And stop letting these people play games with you, leading you astray into all these ideologies.
Air force of the rain triggering flash floods, destroying buildings and cars with water gushing down roads. The death toll is climbing. We are getting some staggering numbers this morning. The Libyan health minister estimates that at least 3,000 people have been killed so far. And in one city alone, in the eastern city of Derna, 700 people have been killed. The Red Crescent reports that at least 10,000 people are missing. The U.S. Embassy is already offering humanitarian assistance, and they need it. Search and rescue teams are struggling to get to the devastated areas. Officials fear that the death toll is going.
All right, an update now on our top story on our.
Wow. Guess who's praying for Libya? Y'all wouldn't believe this. The same reptilian, shape-shifting beast that prayed for Morocco a few days ago. That's right. We're talking about Pope Francis. Yeah, Pope Francis is praying for Libya, just like he was praying for Morocco. Now I want y'all to peep this. Somebody put Oprah in the chat. Nah, not quite. But look at what's going on.
On to other stories, grieving the recent attack on a migrant center in Libya that killed 53, Pope Francis has urged the international community not to tolerate this act of violence. Addressing thousands in St. Peter's Square this morning.
Not to tolerate this act of violence. Hold on, Pope Francis. Let me get this right. You don't want us to tolerate this act of violence. So let's go back for a second.
Act of violence. Addressing thousands in St. Peter's Square this morning, the Vatican City had invited all to join in a silent prayer for the deceased, which includes 6 children. And
okay, so this is a different one here. I'm about to say, hold up. I was about to say, hold up. This is not the one right here. All right, I pulled up the wrong one. So this must have been another incident where them Libyans got roasted and cooked. All right, so no, that's not the right video I was looking for. Y'all give me a moment real quick. Let's pull it up. Okay, yeah. Oh, so he didn't pray for the Libyans. This is an old video right here. So that's my mistake right there. Sometimes when people sharing information. Okay, no. Oh, wow. All right, so the U.S. is covering this. Hold on, I got something else to share with y'all though. And thumb the video up. Yah West, thank you for the contribution, fam. Fam says run them donations. I mean, feel free to support the work. Ain't too many people talking about this. But yeah, I appreciate it, Yah West. Let me see here. Let's go. I got another one for y'all. Because America, the news in the States just updated. And now they're saying there's 5,300 killed and 10,000 missing. So the news updated right while we speaking on this. I'm ahead of the news in the U.S. Ain't that something? I'm literally ahead of the news in the U.S. That's crazy. All right. This is what happened when you watch world news, man. And you got brothers who really on it. Let me see here. Let's bring this up. And this was just minutes ago. I want to see what they're saying in the States. All right, here we go.
Thanks very much for staying with us. Time now for Eye on Africa with me, Georgia Calvin-Smith. Tonight, rescue efforts.
Actually, this is France.
In Libya are hampered by impassable flooded roads and difficult coordination between the country's two rival governments. And yet the international offers of support continue to mount in the wake of devastating flooding in the east that's cost thousands of lives. Also, 6 of the top 10 countries in the world with the highest suicide rates are in Africa. Awareness and political will to tackle the problem across the continent is growing, but the response has to be multifaceted and compassionate. I speak to a top psychiatrist. Political holdups could get in the way of.
Let's go.
But first, there are concerns that political strife in Libya, combined with blocked roads and logistical holdups, could get in the way of getting help to the east of the country in the wake of one of the most deadly environmental disaster that it's ever suffered. At least.
Yo, this is arguably one of the most devastating disasters that's happened in the last century, ladies and gentlemen. Arguably. This is big news. Yo, Hitman, thanks for the support. I mean, they're not going to be able to get to rescue those people because there was already political barriers going on. So now you're not even going to have no rescue for these individuals. 2 Peter 2:9, the Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations and to reserve the unjust until the day of judgment to be punished. So for those out there who are like, well, Breed, you got to have some heart. What if people was going to turn their life around and, stop serving an idol God? What the scriptures just told you. You heard what the scriptures just told you? The Most High knows how to deliver the righteous out of temptation and reserve the unjust until the day of judgment. So we can't question what the Most High do. The Almighty know what he doing. He knows what he's doing. So I don't question when he gets to judging. Seriously.
$2,300 people have been killed and around 10,000 missing in the wake of flooding that wiped out huge parts of the city of Derna after, after 2 dams burst on Sunday night. Rescue operations have struggled to make it to where they're needed most.
It's a catastrophe which began on Sunday with this storm Daniel, which ripped through quite a few cities in the east of Libya. The worst impacted is Derna after 2 dams there gave way and flooded the entire city. So Derna is a city that's submerged. The scale of destruction is extremely huge.
I'm inviting all Muslims into the chat. I'm sharing my link. If you are of the Islamic faith, you are welcome to join the chat. And I want to know what your take on all this is. Why do you believe this is happening in these Muslim countries? Only if you are dealing with Islam, feel free to join. Look into the chat. You see the link. Let's get to it.
The number of dead is past 2,000. Today, we have between 3,000 and 4,000 people that are missing, and we don't know what situation they are in.
I could tell you what situation they in. I could tell you what situation in it. They in the bottom of that damn dam that broke. That's just the truth of the situation. They gone. They rotting somewhere. They laid up stiff. Let's just be quite frank with it. I guess they in the after realm with their virgins, with their 72 virgins. They in the after realm with them. No, the Most High banished them into the shadow realm. Let me just be quite frank with you. That's where they at. So y'all can keep looking for them all day. You're not gonna find them, because when those currents hit, they hit. I don't think people understand when currents actually sweep through and things are moving fast, what it does to bones and how quick it annihilates something. So if you ask me, they've been banished into the shadow realm, straight like that. Anyway, if you are of the Islamic faith, feel free to click that link. And in case y'all like, well, New Breed, you being facetious. The Most High God says he will laugh at their calamity in the day of judgment. The Most High will mock them in the day of judgment. And by the way, the word Allah means curse. Yeah, but water is very powerful. People just don't know. Now, if you ever jump off a diving board face first into a swimming pool, it stings, right? Imagine that times 1,000. That's what happened to them people. We talking about they got annihilated, shattered out here. Ain't nobody clicked the link yet. Interesting. Because the other day I had a lot of people of the Muslim faith all in the queue. Where y'all at?
The city has been completely destroyed. Schools, hospitals, and the entire infrastructure has been destroyed. So we are in a city that's completely collapsed.
The Libyan consul there in Paris speaking to us a little earlier on. Now, at least 2,901 people are known to have died in an extreme quake that hit the high.
Damn, another. Oh, we talking about the Moroccan earthquake? Oh, damn. Yeah, I covered that too. Earthquake aftermath. Rescue operation continue as death toll. So there's still death tolls rising in Morocco. Interesting.
Atlas in Morocco on Friday. The number of injured has topped 5,500, and some villagers in the more remote mountain communities around the epicenter of that disaster have been growing increasingly frustrated at their long wait for help as they try to search for survivors. Rescue efforts have been spearheaded by the military. The kingdom has also only accepted international offers of help from Spain, Qatar, the UAE, and the UK for now. Meanwhile, the UN's human rights chief has accused the RSF paramilitary that...
Wow. So the death tolls are still rising there as well. That's crazy, man. The scriptures tell you in Matthew 10:28, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. That's right. See, the reason why the chosen can be as bold as lions and speak this truth is because we're not afraid of what man is going to think about this. We're afraid of the Creator. We see what he's doing. We see what he's up to. And We rather declare his mighty acts and declare his judgments than hide and act like we don't see what's going on. Because the Most High could destroy the body and the soul. Man can only destroy the body. Straight up. It goes on to tell us in these scriptures, and I'll be reading these scriptures, waiting on people to join, waiting on those of the Islamic faith to join. Psalm 7 and 11. God judgeth the righteous, and God is angry with the wicked every day. He's angry with the wicked every single day. He's a righteous judge who's angry with the wicked every day. Psalm 75 and 8. For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of a mixture, and he poureth it out of the same. But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Hold on, let me make sure y'all got this link. Most High's not playing. I know judgment when I see it. You can't tell me that the God I serve ain't awesome. Anytime he can make it rain 40 years worth of rain in 24 hours. And he's speaking bold as ever. And we have a brother in the chat, and I'm going to bring him up. Sam W, keep it respectful. When I begin to moderate, if you cut me off while moderating, I won't cut you off mid-speech. Do not cut me off while I'm moderating my chat, because then you're just going to get pretty much blocked. Sam W, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing there, Brad? I'm doing good, man.
Okay, cool. So,
oh yeah, go ahead.
What do you got to say for us, brother, when it comes to Islam?
Well, I want to first clarify. I do not subscribe solely to the Islamic religion. I don't really subscribe to it, like, really whatsoever. But I do believe in the principles, that were brought by Moors, not Muslims. I do think those principles are valid. Because Islam, at least from my perspective, because truly it's not a religion, it's a way of life. Islam means I, self-law, and master. So at least, oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. Did you see the Morocco video that I done?
I don't believe I have. Could you summarize it for me?
Yeah, I'll give you a quick summary. So I went into the history of Islam in more detail in that video, in regards to that catastrophic earthquake that terminated at least 1,000. I mean, we're gonna say at least 1,000. They're still finding people, and the death tolls are rising as we speak. But in that video, I really went into the historical relevance of Islam. But I'll summarize real briefly. So Islam used to be Persian mythology, and before they were into monotheism, it was straight polytheistic. Before Muhammad plagiarized the word and started replacing himself as the Christ-like figure. But before then, if you do your research, it was Persian mythology. Even to this day, there's great deals of idolatry that goes on in Mecca. You have the Kaaba stone, where they put their heads inside the stone and pray to an obelisk that's shaped like a woman's vagina. It's still a lot of idolatry that goes on there. And the reason why I'm bringing this out is because the Most High God, he is at a point in time where he doesn't want anybody putting any gods before him. Unlike a whole lot of other religions or belief systems, rather, the Most High is not attached to any idols. He's the only God that says, hey, no idols attached. Don't make any images of anything in the sky above, in the earth, or in the sea, and reverence it. Because it's just foolish. It's dumb idols made by the hands of man. So when you really do your research on Islam, it derived from idolatry. Now, I would recommend you watch that stream because I brung out a lot more. I'm just giving you a brief rendition of what was brung out there. But I understand moral people, for the record. I get morality. I get if you find something that has certain tenets, rules, and regulations that you can live by, I get it. But let's make this clear. The Quran is plagiarized. Before I came into this truth of the Bible, I actually read the Quran first. And in the Quran, it tells us that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were given the promise. It actually tells you that in the Quran. So if that's the case, why would I lean on those tenets, when I know that the organic tenets are the Bible? I know it's coming from Torah, and they just have their spin-off or their rendition of it. Now, I just threw a lot at you at once, so I'm gonna give you time to respond and think about some of the info I just gave you.
Yeah, most definitely. Because this is definitely a loaded, topic. And I did kind of spill this with the brothers actually last night. Because, like when you said earlier, just earlier in this stream, you subscribe to the God of Abraham, and it even says like, he inherited some of the promises, but like, Judaism, I guess if you want to consider mainstream Christianity, but Christianity in general and Islam, they're all Abrahamic religions, that's a fact you could look up. So it's
well, let me clarify something for you. The founding forefathers of Islam are actually from the seed of Ishmael. Now we are related. Ishmael is related to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but it's not the same lineage. Ishmael would be the Arabic man, or what they call now as Middle Eastern man, which are Gentiles according to the Bible. So It's like, even within, and this is why, like, even within the States, it's rather confusing that you got a lot of African Americans who follow Islam, when these people in these quote unquote Middle Eastern countries, and I say that because it's really just the middle of Africa. It wasn't until conquest and Renaissance until, we start labeling landmass like Middle East is really the middle of Africa. But anyway, I find it strange that a lot of African Americans within the States follow that belief system. When I've traveled to Morocco, I've been to these places, and I know how they feel about our people.
Right.
and it's like I also know the history of Muhammad owning over 700 black slaves. I also understand that he was a warmonger who sent a lot of our people to die on the front lines. So when our people follow this belief system, they're not really, they're doing it in prisons, they're going to jail, they learning this, or they seeing the dignity that comes with it in some of the tenets of Islam and how they're put together. Everybody wearing suits, bow ties. It looks clean, it looks appealing. I'm not gonna lie about that. And it was even with the emergence of Malcolm X, it was a beautiful thing to see our people just being dignified, but also being bold. So the Gentile nations have always came together in confederate, saying, let us cut off Israel from being a nation. Let's not tell them who they actually are. We'll give them something that looks classy and dignified. We'll allow them to have that. But whole time, that is not us. That comes from a different culture. And I'll say this, I'll be the first one to say it. I liked Morocco when I went there. The people were very hospitable. They were also very careful with who was not Muslim. Like I told a story in my previous broadcast. When I was on a plane, there was a woman who was sitting next to me. Clearly she was of the Islamic faith. And the flight attendant, he walks up and asks me straight up, hey, are you Muslim? And I said no. And he told her to get up and move. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I didn't really take offense to it because that's just how they are in that country. It's like, hold up, you don't follow Islam, she's not sitting next to you, which was a blessing for me because I got to stretch my feet out the whole flight. So it was cool. But, are they serving the wrong God? Because I've read the Quran and I looked at what it says about earthquakes, and it really will draw blanks. It literally, and I'm paraphrasing, it says something to the degree of every now and then Muhammad lets the earth lets the earth, Mother Earth, or whatever he calls her a her, lets her breathe, and it's basically to purge the land of sin. So I got to ask the people of the Islamic faith, if 97% of your country is Islamic and y'all seem to be orderly and have certain conduct about yourselves, why are y'all getting all these earthquakes? Why are y'all getting flooded out? What's going on? Where's Allah? Where's he at?
And if I can respond to that real quick, because like that was loaded, you know, but it's how these talks get, man. This is why I love them, because you know I want to do it just to clarify for both sides, because you know, like you read the Quran, I'm not sure. Like I said, history is if like there's one with the Q and one with the K, and I'm reading the one with the K, written by Moors, not by Muslims. You know, the Gentile Arabs, because they're new. They're a new race, you know, newer race. Like we've know this, you know. Being in the truth, we're the original people. Like we literally originate everywhere. Christopher Columbus didn't find anything. He just discovered more people who are already there, who look like us. So we're pretty much from all over the place. And, you know, the people who pretty much had the same knowledge, who also, you know, reverence Jesus, you know, not worship him, but they acknowledge him, were the Moors. And you even said you visited Al Morocco, but the original people are not there. People
you breaking
look around,
up,
push.
Right,
oh, man.
I got you.
But yeah,
just up a little bit, but no doubt. No doubt. You seem like to be a very insightful brother. I thank you for your time. You know, you gave some a bit of a challenging conversation far as the tenets, and I can understand that you brung a lot out based on our responses. You know, so thank you for the phone. You know, the I call it a phone call, but thanks for clicking the link, brother.
Yes, sir.
And, we'll try to get a couple more people in who may be opposed to what's being said in this stream, who may be a part of the Islamic faith. But thanks, Sam. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you, man. Yeah, just wanted to say, y'all look into the Moors, because the Arabs, they took it and got it all wrong. But yes,
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this before you leave. Who are the Moors?
At least according to what I'm learning, you know, I was born in America, so technically I would call myself Moorish American, because, you know, there were plenty of other names before, you know, colonization, you know, before the Roman Empire took over, and they started, you know, pretty much switching things around, naming things, you know, what they wanted it to be. So I call myself an Egyptian, you know, if I was born over there, for example, I'd be Moorish African, you know, something like that. But I don't know the original name of Africa, so, you know, language barriers there. But, you know, I would identify myself as a Moorish American, and me having the history of that, you know, I have my birthright since I was born here, you know, and the Constitution is derived out the Zodiac Constitution written by Moors. You know, before George Washington, the quote unquote first president, he was really the 16th. So who were the other 16/15 presidents before him? They were black. I can't list the names right now because then I'd be disconnected from the call. But like, this is what I'm learning right now. Is like the more national that's not talked about is, you know, it's us.
Right.
You know, the original people.
But it all boils back to us, which points to more plagiarism. That's the point I was trying to make.
I hear you.
It all points back to us. But one day I'm gonna do more of a detailed breakdown on the Moors, Science Temple, and all those kind of things, because that's a rabbit hole within itself. But
bro, for sure, bro, it's crazy.
It's absolutely crazy. But thank you, fam. Till next time.
Most definitely. Peace,
all
bro.
Right, peace. Oops. All right, cool. Yeah, man. But you know, if you're also in favor of the Islamic belief, you know, feel free to come on in, man. Feel free to come on in, because I want to know why all this is happening right here. Where's Allah?
Thanks very much for staying with us. Time now for Eye on Africa with me, Georgia Calvin-Smith. Tonight, rescue efforts in Libya are hampered by impassable flooded roads and difficult coordination between the country's two rival governments. And yet the international offers of support continue to mount.
And that is a really good point. Divine Lee says, can you be from two nations? A nation divided, African American, Moorish American, who shall you serve? Who can serve two nations? And see, this is the thing. And no shot at the brother, that just joined, but here's the issue. That makes a very good point. They cut us off from being a nation, that the name of Israel would no longer be in remembrance. They don't want us to just claim who we are. We are the biblical Israelites. All right. We are the biblical Israelites. That's our nationality. When it comes to Moors, and I'll do a brief rendition on this, but a lot of it is Masonic. Which I would have to really go down the rabbit hole and show you all the tentacles that's connected to that. But that will be in a future date. A lot of the fraternal orders that you see within the Boule, they were Moors. So you got to understand, like, as a nation, who the question should be, who are we as a nation? Either we Israelites or we Gentiles, right? And if you a Gentile, not saying you can't get salvation, but you're gonna have to serve the God of Israel, right? All right, we got another brother in, brother Gunner.
Hello, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Gunner?
Yeah, Islam is like mind control. You know, when I was 5, they told me I had to read Arabic. I had to read Quran in Arabic. And when I asked why should I not read it in my own language, they hit me hard, you know. They hit me in my head, say, no, you have to read it in Arabic.
Wait, whoa, hold on, man. We getting somewhere. Let me stop my music real quick. Hold on. Let me. All right, hold on now, brother. Hold on now. So, what country are you from?
I'm from Afghanistan.
All right, so you're from Afghanistan, and you're saying that Islam was taught to you like almost like mind control, like your family pretty much.
It is. It's like I didn't know about sense, and when I grew up, that's why you have to read it in Arabic. It's like every voice, every they have frequency. So you know what I mean? It's like when you read it in Arabic, I already read it in like twice in Arabic, but I didn't know nothing about it. But it's like it's go back to your back of your mind that it controls you. That's why everybody have to read it in Arabic. They say is the Arabic is because God say you have to talk to me in your heart, not in some other language that you don't even know what you're saying.
Right. Did you experience any idolatry being involved in Islam?
No.
In your upbringing?
No. That I was lucky. I never been experienced, but I've been on my on move on all the time. Like I was living in Iran for 10 years, 6 years in Turkey, 3 years in Hungary, 3 years in England. Now I'm in USA.
Okay, cool. How long you been in the USA?
No, I've been here since 2015.
Okay, cool. So what do you think about African Americans basically following Islam?
I have no idea, because when I got to Hungary, I didn't know about anything about racism. You know, when I got in Hungary, I was playing football with some Cameroon people. I was in a camp, and they were playing football. They teach me football, and then one time, my own countryman take me away. Say you should not play with them. I was like, I didn't know what was going on. After that, I learned like everybody is different. So it's like very.
No, this is interesting. So seeing all of these, I don't know, these disasters taking place. Have you gotten a chance to speak to anyone in Afghanistan or anyone in the Middle East that you may know? And if you have, like, if
I try to talk to them about Islam, they're gonna just kill me and then say, oh, they're gonna go to heaven by killing me. But even in Quran, in everything say, if you take another life, you're never gonna go in heaven. I don't understand why they say if you kill somebody, you're gonna go to heaven. So like every time I try to talk to anybody Muslim, any brother Muslim, they could not understand it. You cannot talk to them because they don't wanna understand. They just, it's like mind control. That's why you have to read it in Arabic.
Right. So it would be dangerous for you to even speak out against Islam too.
Yes, even I cannot to talk to my family. I was trying to tell them like Jesus is the way. I try to teach them because I felt Jesus in my heart. Like, I was smoking weed for so long time. And then I asked God to just free me. And then I think I got free now. I'm like sober. I don't drink. I don't smoke. Nothing.
Let me ask you, what kind of Muslim did you grow up as?
Shia.
Shia, okay.
Yeah. When I grew up, I didn't know there was like different kind of Muslim. I thought everybody's the same. But when I got to the different countries, I see, oh, everybody's like, there's the two different like Muslim, Sunni, Shia, Wahhabi. There's so many differences.
Right. So and so much haven't changed since you know, back in the days when it comes to how they carry things, because you know, Muhammad was killing whoever didn't believe in Islam, whoever didn't follow. It was ruled by conquest. So are you saying things really haven't changed since then?
Yeah, it took like 500 years in Afghanistan to try to change the language to Arabic. But we fortunately had some poetry people that kept our language alive. Otherwise, we would have speak Arabic like Iraq or Syria or some other countries. It was like by sword, you know. We turned to Islam because it says peace, because we had to do it because they were killing everybody. And then the king said we have to like make the religion Islam. So
right, let me ask you something else. What do you believe? What is taught in Islam about natural disasters? What is the meaning of it? Do they believe it's Allah's wrath, as the Bible believes that most natural disasters that are not man-made are the Most High's wrath?
I believe
what do they teach in Islam?
God's willing. It's God's willing. Everything is God's willing. But in Islam, I don't. I already read Quran 3 times, but I don't understand it because it's always been in Arabic. So that's why I'd never like try to understand it.
So let me get this right. So you were basically taught to memorize in another language,
yes,
almost religiously, but not actually knowing what the Quran is saying. Is that what you're you're saying?
People like that, like a lot of people I know is just know Arabic, but they don't know. Because when I was 5 years old, I remember I was trying to read Quran and I asked the guy, why should I read in Arabic? Why should I not read in my own language? And then he hit my head. I was like 5 years old. He says that's like against God's wills, and then this is blasphemy, and then you have to read it in Arabic. So since that, I was trying to be a good Muslim. I was going to everywhere, and then like since I grew up and then moved around whole world, like I've been in Turkey, in Hungary, a lot of places, and I see a lot of different people, different culture, and then I learned like this is different. Life is very different than we thought. Now since I learned, I was looking for God, and then everything I try to see is Jesus. I know Jesus the way, and I'm glad I found him, and I'm glad I know he always was with me.
Well, all praises.
He just didn't know.
Well, all praises. I'm glad you came into the knowledge of the truth. Long as you believe in the Messiah as the scriptures have read, and read it. And so when you read the Bible, you do understand that.
Yes.
It makes sense, right?
It does.
So let me ask you this. Is it safe to say that it's almost idolatry when it comes to the Quran itself, because they're not really concerned with your understanding of the book, but you're supposed to carry it religiously as some type of almost a cloak, almost like just something you're doing to basically be in uniform with everybody else?
Yes, sir.
It's a control mechanism, essentially.
I feel it's like a mind control. That's why you have to read it in Arabic. That's why it's like it goes back to your unconscious mind that you're gonna do some stuff that's out of control. I've seen people a lot. I see a cousin, he was Shia, and his cousin was Sunni, and they fight because of the religion. Because he was Sunni, he was Shia, and then they fight. I see a lot of stuff that make me question everything. And hopefully that's why I'm glad I found Jesus.
Right. All praises. So there's still division among denominations, similar
even in the families, there's a divisions.
Right. Well, man, blessings, man. I thank you for coming and giving your testimony, because you got a lot of people within the States who really follow Islam, and they don't understand that the origins of the religion, it comes from your countries, and it's being followed here, and they don't really even know. They don't understand the origins. So it's good to have somebody who actually was born and raised in that particular practice. So thank you for that, brother. We appreciate you.
Have a good one.
All right, you too.
God bless.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Shout out to that brother, man. That was good. That was a good call. Yeah. Brother found Christ. Brother found the Messiah, you know what I'm saying? Just my advice to the brother, make sure, you don't fall for the snares of the churches, because they are a lot like different denominations similar to what you was raised in. Some of these churches, they not teaching the true Christ. As long as you understand that the Bible itself has tenets and rules and regulations and commandments as well. And yeah, that's a blessing, man. That's a blessing. But for real, man, I gotta ask y'all. We're gonna play the news brief one more time for those just joining. What took place here in Libya?
Jazeera at this hour in the floods in Libya. We can confirm that the death toll from those devastating floods in eastern Libya has risen significantly. Let's bring in our correspondent, Malik Trainer in Tripoli. Malik, what are the latest figures?
Well, according to Hassam Abu Zreba, he's the Minister of Interior in the parallel government in eastern Libya. He's now stated that the death toll in the city of Derna has risen to over 5,200. Now, we haven't had, international organizations or the Libyan Red Crescent confirm those numbers.
In eastern Libya, where thousands have died in devastating floods and more than 10,000 are still missing. On Sunday, more rain fell in one day than over the past 40 years. It burst 2 dams upstream, channeling a wave of destruction towards the port city of Derna. Michael Apple reports.
A witness to the disaster points to where the flooding that would devastate Derna was unleashed. 2 dams holding huge amounts of water burst, sending a wave towards the city. Satellite imagery shows them before the floods. The first dam was 12 kilometers upstream. The second dam was on the city's outskirts. When the dam walls crumbled, almost like a reversed tsunami, the water cut through Derna's neighborhoods, destroying bridges, roads, and homes, sweeping residents out to sea as the waves struck the low-lying coastal town. Derna had a population of around 100,000. The human cost of the disaster is still being counted.
The death toll is huge. It might reach 2,000 really, but we don't have a definite number right now. Maybe later today.
Psalms 110:6. He shall judge among the heathens. He shall fill their places with the dead bodies. He shall wound their heads over many countries. Man, oh man. The scriptures also told us, and this remind me of the brother who just joined. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. Wow, wow, wow. The Most High knew how to get that brother out of that situation and find the Messiah. Meanwhile, the country he came from is war-torn, and these countries are enduring all of this, man. So, hey, I'll leave y'all with this. Let the dead bury the dead. Let the Most High will be done. I'm here to declare the mighty acts of the Most High. The Most High is condemning the heathen nations for the atrocities committed against the children of Israel via conquest, via Renaissance, transatlantic slave trade, and furthermore, our moral degradation. And because of all our suffering and pain and the lack of compassion, the Most High God is going to destroy all the nations who serve other gods. He's going to wipe them out. The heathens and Gentiles are losing power, and God's almighty prophets, teachers, and his holy priests and bishops are going to rule once again. And our reparations are right now. And we're watching the Most High God do what he do best. And him being a man of war, as the scriptures have said, he's showing his flex. He's showing just how powerful and almighty he is. I praise him. I worship him. Kwam Yasharala to all of the Israelites in the faith and the Gentiles that sojourn with the Israelites in the faith. Because now is the time where we pray to our God and we continue to serve him and we clean up our dirt and get our minds right. All praises to the Most High. Thank each and every one of y'all. With that being said, shalom and peace.